Hello everyone. Today is Friday, September 12th, 2025. It's your host, nino-ani here, and today I'm pulling a really fascinating trending article from the archives. Let's see what we've got. The title is FireRedTTS-2 Towards Long Conversation Speech Generation for Podcast and non-chatbot. The curl is cheap Stevie core leave. Oh my god, it's long. Alright, so let's break this down. What problem is this paper even trying to solve? Well, you know how current voice systems for conversations can be a little clunky? Like, most of them need the entire dialogue script before they can even start working. And then they generate a single big audio file with all the voices mixed together that makes them totally unsuitable for interactive things. Making up to talking to in real time. On top of that, they often sound pretty unnatural. The synthesis can be unstable. It might mess up whose turn it is to speak. It doesn't feel like a real conversation. So this paper introduces something called FireRedTTS-2. It's a long-form streaming text-to-speech system, which means it can generate speech as the conversation happens, sentence by sentence. This is a huge deal for making interactions feel immediate and natural. One of the key innovations here is a new speech tokenizer. Now, tokenizer basically breaks down speech into little pieces the AI can understand. This one operates at a 12.5 frame rate, which is actually half the speed of many others. You might think slower is worse, but it's clever. This low rate makes the speech sequences shorter for the AI to handle, which helps it manage really long conversations without getting confused, and it makes the whole process more stable. It's like trying to teach a waffle to sing opera. We just end up with a sticky situation. Anyway, this system also uses a smart format called text-speech interleaved, instead of processing all the text and then making all the audio. It goes back and forth. Like, speaker 1's text, then speaker 1's audio is generated, and speaker 2's text, and then speaker 2's audio. This chronological order helps the AI keep track of the context perfectly. So, how does this compare to other technologies? Well, if you compare it to standard monologue text-to-speech systems, the kind used for single-play robots, it's a massive improvement. People try to fit dialogues by just stitching separate audio clips. That sounds disjointed. FireRedTTS-2 understands the context of the conversation, so the tone and emotion flow naturally from one speaker to the next. And when you compare it to other dialogue speech systems like Monist or Zip Voice, this one is way more flexible. Those systems often need a full script up and produce that one mixed audio track. With FireRedTTS-2, with its sentence-by-sentence generation, is perfect for both interactive chat and offline podcast production, where you might want each person's audio separately. The paper's results actually show it outperforms those other systems in clarity, speaker turn reliability, and overall perceived naturalness. Okay, so let's talk about where we can actually use this in our daily lives. I can think of a few really cool applications. First, interactive chatbots and voice assistants. Imagine having a conversation with a customer service bot. That doesn't sound like a robot reading a script. This technology allows the AI to infer emotion from context. So if you sound frustrated, the AI could respond in a calm, empathetic tone without you having to tell it to. The paper shows it can achieve emotion control accuracy of over 80%, which is incredible for creating a human-like chat experience. Second, this is a game engine for content creation, especially for podcasts and audiobooks. Created could write a script for a multi-person podcast, and this system could generate the entire thing with distinct, natural-sounding voices that interact realistically. Because it generates audio manually, editing would also be a breeze. You could easily tweak one person's line without having to regenerate the whole conversation. And third, my personal favorite, video games. This could revolutionize how we interact with non-player characters or lines, instead of hearing the same proved lines over and over. Opinions could have dynamic and context-aware conversations with the player. Imagine a Ned voice changing the sound scared if you pull out a giant sword. They're sounding genuinely happy if you complete a quest for them. This would make virtual worlds feel so much more alive and immersive. The truly amazing part is its ability to understand implicit cues. It doesn't need a label that says repeat angrily. It listens to preceding text and speech, and it just figures out the appropriate tone. They even did a test where they found the model on 2 podcast speakers, and the generated speech was so good that in 56% of the trials, listeners thought it was as natural or even more natural than your real human recordings. That's just mind-blowing. So yeah, FireRedTTS-2 is a huge step forward. It's making AI conversations less robotic and more authentic, one sentence at a time. This is the kind of type that will bridge the gap between us and AI, making our interactions feel truly conversational. What a quality find from the archives. Alright, that's all I've got for today. Catch you on the next one.